Okay, I think we got some. Let me see. Am I live? Okay, I am live. Perfect. Little mic check. Hold on. Mic check. Mic check. Let me try another way. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, we are live. What's going on, folks? It's Chris here, Better Investing. It's been a while since I made a video. I was trying to use Instagram, but that thing's a turd when it comes to some things. But all right, yeah, let's get right into the market. So, if you watched the little watch list, or me little talking about the markets, on what was that? I think Saturday. I think I did it. And I was saying like we're going into a week where it's a a shortened week, right? With the market closed on Thursday, half a day Friday, and you can see a nice little pop on the market. Considering the low volume that you'll have, and I think me personally, I think it's easier to pop the market up than drop it down. When you're in that type of low vol. But yeah, I mean today that's what we got. You see here on the average, right? The average, average volume is about 660 million, 60.8. We traded 56.9. Very modest in terms of no volume, but not nothing near what we have gotten since the prior Thursday, right? So or 2 weeks ago, should I say, 2 Thursdays ago. Very low volume. Actually, the lowest volume looks like probably since like Monday the 10th. But yeah, that's the type of things you get in a low vol environment. You get pops, and I think you can get some short squeezes firing off. I looked at some of the stocks that kind of fired off today, and I'm like, yeah, it looks like a, I don't know if you want to call it a short cover rally, or it's just this folks getting squeezed out who joined the party a little bit late. But that's kind of what you've seen across a broad of things. Like if you go down to like here's my hot themes that I have. And we go take a look at like SNDK was up 13% today on no news, right? I think this is an opportunity for a mean reversion, probably type of fade. We are sitting right here at the no, the EMA 9, I should say. We're sitting right here at the EMA 9, like this chopping right here at the EMA 9. If this one of legs higher, cool, right? If you're a little bit bullish, think the bottom's in, and you look for a higher low, probably against the EMA 20, something like that. But a good chance that we can get some sort of mean reversion on this. I haven't seen any particular news that came out on this, so I'm a little caution of this move, from the bottom up to here. I don't know why I threw the fibs on, but yeah, I seen that across the board. You seen that on Tesla. I am kind of mad on Tesla. I ended up the day red, unfortunately. I was able to kind of crawl myself out of a hole and finish something that where I would say I'm happy with what I lost, considering where I started out. And I was a little mad because I had this Tesla early morning, and I completely dropped the bag on this. Um, as it continued to push. And I had this around like 409, 12. Right here after it held VWAP, I got in like on this candle here. And honestly, I don't know why I peeled it off at the all at me at today's high. Peeled it all off. That was just a bonehead mistake, honestly. That's exactly what that was. Just a bonehead mistake I made. Not really here to kind of go over my particular trades that I made. But yeah, I mean we are kind of like bouncing. So going back to SPY real fast. Now we're gonna look at SPY. Um, I mean this is a situation where we held the 100-day moving average, right? And I'm not a big fan of the 100-day. I actually didn't put it on my charts until right like this weekend. I heard people talking about. I was like, 100-day moving average. Like I don't know. I don't really pay attention to the 100-day moving average. Um, but yeah, but no, what do we end up doing here? I mean, we are pressing right into the the EMA 9. Is this the EMA 9? Keep and the EMA 20. Sorry. So anything I said about that blue line was the 20. We are pressing right here into the EMA 20 and the 50-day moving average, and you kind of see we did stall out right here. They did pop it over the 50-day at the end of the day. Probably stopped some people out who was using it, who was trying to use a high of day as their stop, maybe try to get a position in, and they popped it over that right at the end of the day. So if you try to get a position on around 2 o'clock or so, you definitely got stopped out on that pop probably. But vicious move to the downside. I mean, where do we go from here? Honestly, I mean, if this is a start of a new move, then you just want to see a higher low. That's definitely kind of what you want to see. You kind of want to see us kind of pull back, establish that higher low, something that pivots and turns for a leg higher. But there's a lot to get through here. There's a lot to get through here. But in a low vol, man, it can happen a lot, right? But we still haven't even knocked out at that prior Thursday candle. So, I know a lot of people are a little bullish on some things, but I don't think we're fully out of the woodworks yet. I was looking at this Microsoft. Again, this would just be a bounce trade. I don't think this is something that if you're a momentum trader, if you're I would say if you are a individual who trades, who has a trend following strategy. I mean, I don't really see one here, but what I did like about this this Microsoft, it's kind of overdue, right, in terms of like how much of a move it had to the downside, from these highs right here. That's a 15% correction, right? That's a pretty extensive move to the downside, and then we came back into the previous all-time highs right over here, and then we started to bounce. We started that bounce on Friday. Let me put that right on back. We started that bounce on Friday. See, it's about right here. All right, we started that bounce on Friday. We kind of tried to make a move today. I think, if you are want to get positioned, that this does not look bad. When I think I had pre-market up that made it look much better. Yeah, that pre-market look. Oh, this looks much better. But I think, really, if you're going to try to take this long again, it maybe be over like 476.90, risking about $2 or so. Right, you can pitch your stop at, right below these lows. Like, so it'll be like right below the closing price for a move to the upside. I mean, I think this is a good risk to reward for a bounce trade, and I don't think that you're late if you want to get on a bounce trade on this, right? So say if you get in right here as it triggers. And you pitch your stop right below close, and close would be right here. You're risking about $3 a share. And again, a move back up to the moving averages, even if this does, end up, looking like something like a bear flag where it's, it's doing that, and you have the moving averages, curling down. It still ends up being a great risk to reward if you want to kind of take a bounce trade. Still 3-1. Just thinking about it from that perspective. So now I am looking at this Microsoft potentially maybe tomorrow. If we stay in this little low float, low volume, type of environment into the holidays, I think that's a good opportunity. Go take a look at Bitcoin, Buttcoin, whatever you want to call it. Right, sitting here about to press into this $89, $90 location, which I think is definitely important when you come back out a little bit. That $90 spot. I don't know why it's not here. Interesting. Oh, where's my 900? Where's my 90,000 spot at? It sits somewhere around here, but that 90,000 sits somewhere around the EMA 9, right? So, yeah, but nice little move up. I did grab some Bitcoin over the weekend in my Coinbase account, around like 84, 85, I think. So I'm up a little bit on that position, but nothing too crazy. All right. Again, let's go just take a look. So I had a little watch list going. Nothing crazy. because there wasn't really that many stocks out there. I did like this TMDX. One of those stocks that I'm just not familiar trading with. So like when I looked at it in the morning, I didn't like the spread. I think that's what kind of threw me off. But this was definitely a nice move back up in here. Again, it was a situation where I looked at this and I looked at Tesla and it looked somewhat similar in terms of the base that it was building out. Not necessarily thinking about like the moving averages, but looking at how has this been establishing these higher lows. Good chances that we come in and we knock out this 145, swing high pivot, right, and then that can launch us and bring it back over into like this 170, 160. So it did set up to like you should probably already be positioned. Unfortunately, I did not get positioned on this. Had Appian on my list again, something I'm just not familiar trading. Honestly, glad I didn't. I probably have been flat. Probably would have ended up selling this position. Just don't got enough wiggle room to really trade. Frog was nice. I talked about this one. Nice hold of this, this opening drive price from earnings gap up. Put in that higher low right here, a little undercut of the EMA 9 reclaim, right? Pressed a little higher, came back, retested, took off again today. The one I'm really upset about was this MU, because really like this was like your first opportunity to probably get long on this after this move. It hasn't really set up since then. All right, since this move back here and it broke out, nice tight pattern here, and it broke out. It really never gave that move, and this is your first touch of the 200-day moving average. Since this entire leg up. So a little unfortunate I didn't get an entry on this. Like I looked at it in the morning and then it just went off. Right, and it was really like nowhere that I was comfortable getting in. Definitely looking at the opening drive. I mean, it's up, Jesus Christ. I mean, from the opening drive, it's already up 3.5%. And I think that's kind of made it hard for me to get along a lot of things, honestly. 3.5% on a stock that moves. It's half of its ATR within the first 5 minutes. So like when I seen that, I was a little perplexed about really taking that long at that point. I was like, man, I already missed this move. Other stuff again, like this is everything I had on my watch list. This EYE was definitely on my watch list too. I wasn't sure about this one. Didn't watch it in the morning. I need to make sure I set my alerts. Definitely gave a good entry. Only issue I had was like this was an 8.5% day, but this is day one of the move. Right now you're looking at to day two, so you really definitely can't join the party now. You don't want to be the last one to the gangbang. But this one was definitely on my watch list as well. And Twilio was on my watch list, which still doesn't look bad in this pattern. Now that you have this hammer right here, right above the 100-day moving average, but also this little area right here, I would say. I don't know if I want to call this. It looks nasty, honestly. But you kind of see it kind of held these previous highs back here. Right, if I do something like this right here. All right, you kind of see how it held that, and really your trigger was right through yesterday's high or Friday's high. Right, today's Monday, yeah. And you pitch your stop at low day. So like the good thing about I wouldn't say good thing, but let me go back and look. Like how would that look for me? All right, if I put my stop, if I put my thing there and I use the prior day close. Sorry, not the today's close, but the prior day close. I mean, you kind of grab this at the bell. You kind of grab this right here at the bell, and you pitch your stop. Damn, that's a nice fucking entry. And that's the way I trade. That's where it would have invalidated for me. Some others may have gave it a much wider stop, but I think may have been like yesterday's close or Friday's close. So say if I got in right here, let's take this off. Like say if I would have got in, want to go long, right? Say if I got that alert, and say if I was a little late, right? I get in like right here. I mean, shoot, I'm only risking 60 cents, right? About 100 shares, I'm only risking $66, and this just ends up, to the end of the day, ends up being a good move. Yeah, right into damn. Yeah, yeah, that was a nice one. I don't know. I was watching this one, or thinking about watching this one. Um, I think that what kind of messed me up again is like I took Tesla early, and I was a little pissed that I ended up selling it as fast as I did. And if you look here on like a 2 minute chart, I got in literally like right as it held VWAP, and I took it off right up until like 413. Like, no, right into like 412. I had a nice position, nice size on it, um, and this 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 really just fucked this one up. Honestly, I'm a little upset at that one. I definitely messed this one up. This was an opportunity to get long on this. Again, what I really liked about it was that I liked I like this trend line here for a bounce. I kind of have a circle here, but I had a circle here. We kind of came right into it. The thing with trading, everything is subjective, right? It's the art of trading, right? You can see one thing, someone else to see something else. Not something that from a trend following perspective. From a moving average. I don't know trading perspective, not something you really want to get along with. But in terms of the trend is kind of still intact. It's still it's still intact, from the April's lows. So this is something I'll definitely continue to keep on focus. But if we also want to kind of reject like we're doing right, towards the end of the day or for the day at the EMA nine, the EMA 20, I wouldn't be proposing maybe trying to take this back down. Again, I trade both directions. I don't really have a bias. I've been comfortable doing so leave it like that. But yeah, honestly, a little awkward. I know some folks were talking about taking this down. I was like, one thing I learned, someone told me about is like, man, like it's a 3 day burst to the downside. You don't want to take this short. It's a 3 day burst into the downside. You already missed this short. Your short was through the 200, right? Through this 200, right? Where this closed at? Was it this day? It just closed at 114. Yeah, right back through here, right back through this 200. Was your opportunity to take this short again. But yeah, again, I looked at what was popping for today. Again, I have my themes up here, and you got Cipher, right? 10% move on the day. No news. No news came out on this, I believe. There was nothing that really came out. Do you expect? When did this come out? Yeah, like no crazy news. Like you got AAOI, up, 9%, right? So a lot of the things that got smoked, does seem like you got a little bit of covering going on the stock. I don't know why I have you know that that's not a theme. Oh, it falls in that same theme. But like BE for example, you know, or it is I know data. Right, a lot of stocks. This actually something to keep on watch because it didn't really do well with this OKLO. I don't really see a setup to take it though. Right, Irene, APLD, like all these shits just fucking ripped today. And again, that's something you get in a low volume. Like really, what stood out to me was this SNDK. I was like, why the hell is this up? Like, there was no news on this. I checked. I was like, I didn't see no news on this. Maybe it was an upgrade. Far as maintained at overweight by Morgan Stanley. Maybe that's what it did. But that was 4 hours into the session. That came 4 hours ago. So that was around 12 o'clock. It was already ripping tits by then. What else we got out here, folks? You got Rigetti. I'll love for this to go higher so I can potentially short this again. It did kind of cover this gap. It was a little small gap here, kind of undercut it. I wouldn't say kind of, well, yeah, kind of undercut it, put in a hammer, reclaimed the 100-day moving average, reclaimed the EMA 9, you got the EMA 20 sitting there above. That's where my alert's at. So as the day goes on, I'll continue to move this alert so I can get an actual price alert when it hits up in there. But yeah, again, a lot. You got your quantum basket that was kind of ripping today. I guess what would be another basket that I would look at was Oh, I gotta talk about this. Let me see. Gotta move some things around. I don't know what happened in the cruise lines either. Something happened in cruise lines. What else we got here, people? Yeah, I grabbed some shares of Mobileye. It's more of a long term thought. Long term for me, it could be 3 months. You know, something. I'm not trading the chart. I'm really just trading. I really just like the attractive price I'm getting this at. 1.75 billion in cash, and they have like literally like 60 million in debt. That's it. That's all you got there. I mean, this can be at $15 and still be in a downtrend. So I grabbed some shares of that like Friday night. Someone posted, and I was like, oh yeah, I meant to buy this. Just looking here, seeing what rip tits. Hood. I mean, SoFi went crazy off the 100 day, I believe. Right off the 100 day. Um, someone I forgot who was saying like this looked like a bear flag. I didn't really see it. Oh, it looks choppy as shit. I like mine's clean, but sometimes the clean ones are too obvious, right? I am long CarMax from 35. I did not buy any more. I think this is undervalued. Again, I trade. I mean, I do long. Someone asked me like, they said like my just position on like how I trade is so technical, but then like my long term is so, it's like the opposite. And really, it's because for me like long term, I'm more concerned about price rather than like the technicals. I like to buy, good businesses at good prices. I don't know who said. I think Buffett said that. So I might be jacking his swagger there, but I think it makes a lot of sense. Buy good businesses at good prices. I think CarMax being your nation's largest used vehicle dealer out there at $35, trading damn near book value. I think it's an opportunity. Like for example, like I remember I brought this up to my wife and she actually longed it. I think it was like, that was way back. I think it was like back here. She started something. I was like, "What were you doing?" I know I talked about. I said it's getting close to book value, and then like it undercutted the book value price. Right now, it's trading back above book value. And I want to say like there's a Bethesda hedge fund or something that's long this in my area. Jesus Christ. Yeah, the semi basket went crazy today. Oh shit, we got their earnings coming up. What's that, next week? 2 weeks? Just taking a look here, people. I thought this was gonna have a move. This didn't do nothing. CS, I was long this last week. Um, right, was it here? Yeah, it had to be here. I think that's where it had to be there. That's where the EMA 9 is at. I was long it like right there off the EMA 9 at 25.12, and then the next day just literally just fucking rugged me. And I got stopped out on the rest of my shares. Um, EMPH is nothing. Let's go take a look at FSLR. That doesn't look bad. I'm not really a flag type of guy, like unless it's flagging into the EMAs, but I can see this getting some eyes. I can see this getting some eyes. Definitely see this getting some eyes. Again, this basket right here is solar. Like when you get like the rate cuts, this typically does end up like going a little bit higher. I forget when the last rate cut we had or last announcement. September 11th or 12th or something. Probably like a Wednesday. I mean, this thing has just been moving up the chains. Um, Look for that first touch of it taps the 50, maybe stop some people out. But if you want to take a breakout, then yeah, sure. Just have a tight stop. If it breaks out, use yesterday's stop and yesterday's or I'm sorry, use like that today's low of day as your stop, right? If you want to kind of take this as a breakout. And the thing is, like, breakouts can actually work right now as we start to climb higher. But I would think that the breakouts that you want to look for would be on stocks that's that held up pretty well. For example, this right here, this Apple. right? Like if the market is going to start to rebound, then Apple will be the one that you want to look for a breakout to the upside. I actually think that looks hot. I'm going to save that. If market's going to turn, this should definitely be on your radar. Very tight action after earnings. Um, you know, I'm a long term holder of Apple from way back. I'm talking way back. You got to go down. You got to go past 150 to catch my average price. But this is one of those things where if this breakout wants to go, it could potentially work. Honestly, this could be an opportunity for this to move up the chain. All right, let me get back to what I was talking about. But yeah, we're seeing a bunch of stuff that's just ripping. Um, where was the one basket I wanted to look at? Oh, let me look at my VSAT, man. I might. I keep saying. I keep saying how I need to get active in this. I just don't want to make some shit up though. That's the thing. I don't want to make something up. But yeah, I'm long CNC. I got this down at 27. Like down here, I got it like 27. I wish I would have bought some more at 25, but it is what it is. It was funny though because I had this Signa on my look. It was nothing crazy, and I'm glad I didn't take a look at how it played today. But really, I don't know. This pattern back here caught my attention. Like we take off the pre-market section, like this U-turn, and it was kind of building this base, and then it broke out. Um, Maybe something to continue to watch. I know healthcare got a bid today on some Trump news. Oh, God damn, Grill. Jesus Christ. It's one of those stocks that that held up. Um, while the market was pulling back, this held up, right? This looks much different than you look at the indices, right? Showing that relative strength, and as you can see here, RS rating 99, right? I look at RS rating 99, it's performing 99% better than other stocks that's out there. That's how I look at read. That's how I read the RS rating. I don't know if I'm right or not. I keep getting Anthem. Did this report earnings? This report's after. So why is AMT up? What is he watching? Comp. Comp. Pretty sure I have this chart marked out somewhere. Ooh. Package software. They say AMTM is up on earnings. My earnings shows it's for tomorrow. Damn. All right, I keep not going to the fucking charts I wanted to look at. I wanted to look at batteries and robotics, right? So again, yeah, same stuff, right? A lot of stocks that kind of ripped. You got this off the 200. Serve 10%. Rare Earth. MP had a nice little day. Came back in here and filled this gap. Put in a higher low. I don't know what happened with them. This probably looks like a reverse head and shoulders. Ew, no, it does not. I think this is a spin-off. I forget from who. I am back long this from 750. See if I can get a move again on this. Fuck, man, I did not know that shit fucking reported. Fucking trading view. I gotta fix this shit. Like, it doesn't show that earnings AMTM. It doesn't show that earnings. It says tomorrow morning. It's fucking retarded. But yeah, I mean, not much to do. I mean, I'll take things day by day. Remember, it's a short weekend. We're closed Thursday. Probably see some repositioning on Friday at the end of the right. That's the last trading day of the month. Shit, I wouldn't be surprised if this was your repositioning. Right, like who's working on Black Friday? I know I'm not. Um, yeah, not much else for me to really look at. Honestly, I don't really have much else to look at. Not right now, at least. I did not know they fucking reported today. Oh, look at here. Oh, I think Zoom reported. What did Zoom do? Nothing burger, but I mean this thing has been pitting in one of the biggest fucking bases that's left out there. Really, it just has to get over 90. It looks like Wayfair. Right, looks very similar to Wayfair. Zoom. Yeah. But yeah, folks, I think that's about it for me. Let me see who's in the chat. How many people we got here? We got 2 people. I think one of them is my other account, just to make sure everything's working. So ain't nobody in here. But you know, I don't do it for you. I do it for me. Just for market awareness, honestly. I always do it, but I just never post them. It's another one I fucking missed out on. Had the level 13. Just buy. It's nothing technical about it, but I'm willing to hold it from 13. Last time I had it from 13, I sold it at 22. And the problem was like it happened so freaking fast. Um, I was like, man, what the hell am I supposed to do? Like, I'm already up like 60% or so. Okay, we got Sava, got this pumping aftermarket. Yeah, it's that type of environment, people. Ain't no one at the desk. They're like, yeah, let's go send some shit. Yep, just one of those days. But yeah, man, that's about all I got. I'll be here tomorrow, Miana. See what we got tomorrow. See if we have more continuations to the upside. Probably can get a scalpel on tomorrow to the downside if we have a situation where we gap up, then we break back through the 50 or some crap like that. Um, Q is still underneath the 50. SPY sitting right at the 50. IWM. Let me see what is this doing. Reclaimed 100, 9, and the 20. Sitting below a flat and then out. Damn near crawling down 50. But yep. All right, folks. Y'all be blessed. Peace.